Okay guys, if you are struggling knowing how to let someone in emotionally, then this is definitely the video for you to watch today. Because whether it is forming emotional connections or just opening up emotionally to another person, these are things that can sometimes be very difficult for us as guys. So that's what I'm talking about in this video. And let's just jump into it. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Freedom Through Confidence. My name is Ben, and this channel is all about providing confidence and life advice for the average Joe. So if this is the kind of content that you're interested in, make sure that you subscribe, and yeah, let's get on with the video. So why is letting someone in emotionally and forming emotional connections so difficult for us as men? Well, the first big reason is because we are often socially conditioned as guys to lock our feelings down and to not really express ourselves in an open and emotional way a lot of the times. And the reason for that is often because it's not viewed as manly, or maybe it's not one of the alpha male traits to express yourself emotionally. And that is something that I very much disagree with, because I believe that it oftentimes does far more damage than it does good, if it does any good at all. There is this huge pressure on us as guys to be stoic and to be tough, and that often means that we either never learn to, or we're really bad at opening up emotionally. Now, when it comes to learning how to let people in emotionally and how to open yourself up, there is no fixed blueprint that I can give you to say, right, this is what you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then that's it. Congratulations, you have officially graduated from the school of emotional openness and connectedness. You know, go and live your best life now. Unfortunately, that's not the way that it works. Ultimately, learning how to let someone in emotionally is a learning process. It's something that you have to try and unfortunately probably fail at a couple of times, and then try again and learn how to do it a little bit better each time. So what I want to share in this video is just a few things that can help you go into this journey of trying to connect emotionally and open up and let people into your emotional life, sharing some tips and principles that I've learned that will make that process at least easier for you, because ultimately this is something that you do have to figure out on your own at the end of the day. Okay, so the first thing that you are going to need to know is that when it comes to letting someone in emotionally, there is going to be some vulnerability involved. And if you are not a person who is used to being in an emotionally vulnerable way, this is going to be uncomfortable at first. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like there would be no point in that. That would be basically, I would be lying to you. At first, vulnerability is very uncomfortable as a guy, because we have all of these social pressures that have been put on us from very, very young. So knowing that when it comes time to open yourself up to a person, whether that is a friend or a romantic partner or a member of your family, at first, yeah, there is going to be that sense of discomfort because of the vulnerability. So this is something that if you know that it's coming, you can prepare for it a little bit more. But with the sense of vulnerability, the only way to get past it is just to go through it. It's like any other emotion, just listen to what it's trying to tell you, but don't let it stop you from expressing yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. The second thing that you're going to need to know is that there is going to be rejection involved. And yes, so far this isn't sounding great, because not only is there vulnerability involved, but rejection too. This is starting to sound a bit much. But again, the best way to get over the sense of rejection is just to go through it many, many times. Now, society really isn't good at changing its traditions quickly, which means that there are going to be certain people that you try to change this paradigm with who aren't going to accept that, and they're not going to be happy that you know, here is a guy expressing his emotions. And this could literally come from anyone. Like, I'm not singling out any one group of people who might be a bit of a dick about this, but the more that we as men express ourselves emotionally and learn how to let people into our emotional lives, the more it becomes the new and improved tradition. The more we do this, the more normal it becomes, which is why I highly encourage guys to express their emotions in a healthy way. Now, some people are also going to be uncomfortable with you breaking your typical male stereotype. Again, this is something that I would encourage you to not let it dissuade you, because maybe they'll come around eventually or maybe they won't. In either case, you have to get on with your life and live your life in an emotionally healthy way. Otherwise, it's going to lead to bad outcomes over the course of your life for yourself. You have to do this for you. So you have to accept the vulnerability, the rejection, and the fact that some people are going to be uncomfortable with you changing this male stereotype. But that is all okay. That is all part of the process. Remember, you're doing this for you, not for anyone else. Another tip that I learned about letting people in emotionally is to go slowly at it. Now, the first time that I thought to express myself emotionally and to really tell someone what was going on in my head was when I was about 19, and I had projected for most of my kind of social life this sense of always being this happy, cheerful, comedic character. And it was kind of on the basis of that I was able to get my first long-term girlfriend. It was through that kind of beginning sense of confidence that I was able to start what was at that time a pretty good relationship. Where it all started to fall apart was when one day I just told her literally everything that was going on. And bearing in mind that 19 is very, very young, I think she was the same age as me as well, so that's a lot of information to put on one person all at once, especially when both I and her were not exactly emotionally mature yet. So I just kind of flooded her with all this stuff that was going on with me, and it really damaged the relationship that I had with her. And unfortunately, because of that bad reaction that I got from her, it put me off of letting people in emotionally for many, many years after that. Now, I wouldn't say that it's 100% my fault in that situation. I do take the responsibility for going way too fast with opening up emotionally way too kind of soon, because you cannot really expect a person to just take on your entire emotional ecosystem all at once. That's why I say to go slow, because the instinct sometimes is to just say it all. What I would recommend is, if there is someone in your life that you can trust, start sharing with them little bits and pieces here and there. Don't throw it all at them at once. I would say the only exception to that maybe would be if you go and seek the services of a counselor or a therapist. Then, you know, if you're paying them, you can say whatever you want. But if you are just sharing this with a friend or a family member or a partner in your life, then I would encourage you to just take it a little slow at first, and you'll be able to build up that ability to let that person in more emotionally over time. You have to have patience with yourself and with the process on that, no matter how frustrating it is when people say that you have to trust the process. Now, if you want to read a book that's going to be able to explain this so much better than I will, I would highly recommend Brené Brown's book called Daring Greatly. Now, I know that the perception of the book might be that it is written for women because it's all about emotional vulnerability, but genuinely it's one of the best books that I have ever read. It is easily in my top 10, maybe even top 5 self-improvement books that I've read. And the book does have sections addressing emotional vulnerability specifically for men, because it is such a hugely important thing for us to develop. At the time in society that we are in right now, it is more applicable than ever before that men get into a state of good emotional health through learning how to be vulnerable, learning how to let people in emotionally, and learning how to open up and feel their emotions and express them in healthy ways. Otherwise, we're going to keep being triggered by Gillette ads. Now, the last thing that I would recommend in terms of how to let people in emotionally, how to open up to others about your emotions as a man, is that understand that there are many men, people probably that you even know, who are struggling with the exact same thing. So this is where I would encourage you to try and be the change that you want to see in the world. Know that a lot of your guy friends and male acquaintances also want someone to open up to emotionally, whether they know it or not. Everyone wants somebody that they can share themselves with emotionally. So be that for other men as well. Make it the new normal. Make this the new male stereotype, that we are people who are good at expressing our emotions, that we don't have to be stoic and tough and alpha all the time, that we can, as men, express ourselves emotionally, that we can form those connections with one another and with everyone else in the world as well. And really, that's all that I've got to say on the subject of how to let someone in emotionally, how to open up yourself to others. There is no blueprint for how to do it. There is no step-by-step process, but by preparing yourself and understanding some of the things that I've shared in this video, you will find it easier now to go out and just start small, start slow. And really, if you do want to kickstart this process, I do highly recommend counseling or therapy as a great starting point for it. But otherwise, just go out there and start to explore your emotions and share them and express them in ways that are healthy to you. And let me know what happens. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any thoughts in the comment section down below. You can DM me. I'm here to help as much as I possibly can. So I hope you have found the video useful. If you like this kind of content, if you want more content like this in the future, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. But otherwise, thank you very much for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey towards confidence. Bye for now.